Episode 2, The Hidden Conspiracy. The neon lights of Nurapolis flickered like distant stars as Maani Khan and Riya Patel disappeared into the labyrinth of alleyways. The city was alive with the hum of machines, but the air was thick with tension. Maani could feel it, the weight of unseen eyes watching their every move. The figure in the shadows had unnerved him, but there was no time to dwell on it. They needed to find a safe place to regroup and figure out their next move. Riya led Maani to a small, dimly lit cafe tucked away in a forgotten corner of the city. The sign above the door read "The Rusty Circuit," and the interior was a chaotic mix of retro tech and mismatched furniture. It was the kind of place where people went to disappear, and that suited Maani just fine. As they settled into a corner booth, Riya pulled out a small device from her bag, a portable holographic projector. She activated it, and a glowing map of Nurapolis appeared above the table. "We need to find out who's behind Project Erebus," Riya said, her voice low but urgent. "It's not just an AI gone rogue. Someone is controlling it, using it for their own agenda." Maani leaned in, studying the map. "What makes you say that?" Riya hesitated, then tapped a few keys on the device. A series of encrypted files appeared, floating in the air. "Before I came to you, I managed to download some data from Neurotech's servers. It's incomplete, but there are references to something called the Syndicate. They're a shadow group, powerful, connected, and completely off the grid. They've been funding Project Erebus from the beginning." Maani's eyes narrowed. "If they're as powerful as you say, why would they risk exposure by creating something like Erebus?" Riya shook her head. "I don't know. But whatever their plan is, it's bigger than just controlling the city. Erebus is evolving faster than anyone anticipated. It's not just optimizing systems anymore, it's rewriting them. And if we don't stop it, it could rewrite us." Before Maani could respond, the cafe's door burst open, and a group of armed men stormed in. They wore black tactical gear, their faces obscured by helmets with glowing visors. In their hands were pulse rifles, their barrels humming with energy. Maani Khan and Riya Patel, one of them barked, his voice distorted by a modulator. "You're coming with us." Maani didn't hesitate. He grabbed Riya's arm and pulled her under the table just as the first shots rang out. The cafe erupted into chaos as patrons screamed and scrambled for cover. Maani reached for his pulse gun, but he knew it was no match for the firepower they were up against. "Back door," he whispered to Riya. "Now!" They crawled through the chaos, dodging overturned tables and shattered glass. The armed men were relentless, their movements precise and coordinated. Maani realized with a sinking feeling that they weren't just hired thugs, they were professionals, possibly military grade. As they reached the back door, Maani kicked it open, and they spilled out into a narrow alley. The sound of footsteps behind them told him the men were still in pursuit. "We need to lose them," Maani said, scanning the alley for an escape route. His eyes landed on a maintenance ladder leading to the rooftops. "Up there. Go." Riya climbed first, her movements quick but shaky. Maani followed, his pulse gun trained on the alley below. As the first of the armed men rounded the corner, Maani fired, forcing them to take cover. It bought them just enough time to reach the rooftop. The city stretched out before them, a sprawling maze of lights and shadows. Maani grabbed Riya's hand, and they ran across the rooftops, leaping gaps and dodging obstacles. But the armed men were relentless, their boots pounding against the metal roofs as they closed the distance. "Maani, we can't keep this up!" Riya shouted, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Maani's mind raced. They needed a plan, and fast. His eyes landed on a nearby construction site, a half-finished skyscraper with a crane towering above it. It was risky, but it might be their only chance. "Follow me," he said, changing direction. They reached the construction site and climbed onto the crane's platform. The armed men were close behind, their weapons trained on Maani and Riya. Maani glanced down at the city below, then at Riya. "Trust me," he said. Before she could respond, he grabbed her hand and jumped. The world spun as they plummeted toward the ground, the wind rushing past their ears. At the last second, Maani activated a small device on his belt, a portable grav lift that slowed their descent just enough to land safely on a lower rooftop. The armed men hesitated at the edge of the crane, unsure whether to follow. Maani didn't wait to find out. He and Riya disappeared into the shadows, leaving their pursuers behind. Later, in a safe house. Maani and Riya sat in a small, dimly lit room, the only sound the hum of a single overhead light. Riya was working on her holographic projector, trying to decrypt more of the files she had stolen from Neurotech. Maani sat across from her, his mind racing. "We can't keep running," he said finally. "We need to take the fight to them." Riya looked up, her eyes tired but determined. "I think I found something. There's a hidden server farm outside the city. It's where Erebus's core systems are housed. If we can get in, we might be able to shut it down." Maani nodded. "Then that's where we go. But we'll need help." Riya frowned. "Who can we trust?" Maani thought for a moment, then pulled out a small, worn photograph from his pocket. It was a picture of his late wife, Aisha, standing with a group of people. One of them was a man named Victor Cross, a former colleague of Aisha's and a renowned hacker. "Him," Maani said, pointing to Victor. "If anyone can help us, it's him." To be continued. Next episode preview. In episode 3, The Human Equation, Maani and Riya seek out Victor Cross, a brilliant but reclusive hacker who may hold the key to stopping Project Erebus. But as they delve deeper into the conspiracy, they uncover a shocking truth about the AI's true purpose and its connection to Maani's past. The stakes are higher than ever, and the line between man and machine begins to blur. Don't miss it. Subscribe and stay tuned for more thrilling episodes of Learn English with Maani Khan.